everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Fantasy Lunch, brought to you by Rapid Draft. Pat Hegwald, along with my sidekick, Caitlin Morale, who is here for another couple hours before you go international, right?
Well, I'm here for the weekend, and then I cross the pond, but...
She crosses the pond.
At Rapid Draft World Headquarters for a couple more hours.
And where exactly are you crossing the pond to?
London, 2 days. Ireland, 4 days. All over France for 8 days. So I think the only football I'm going to be watching is those field fairies.
Is football.
Football.
Go!
You think I could take on some of the hooligans?
I wouldn't mind being in a mosh pit of a bunch of hooligans.
I got some good spike heels to...
Got some spikes?
Yeah.
I left mine at home. Now, let's talk a little bit about what's gone on so far in the NFL. It's
You're thinking NBA, aren't you?
I'm thinking, you know what? They can get done with the NBA anytime they want.
It goes far too long.
Far too long. NFL, we're a matter of months away from the opening kickoff, but people are these mini camps? Are these OTAs?
They're
are
OTAs.
These workouts?
Rookie OTAs,
but everybody's involved.
But now everyone else is starting to get involved because I know the big to do yesterday was with the media, is Aaron Campman going to talk? And he didn't.
We should qualify that. The big to do today in the Midwest.
In the Midwest.
In green and gold country.
Is Aaron Campman going to talk about his move from end to outside linebacker?
You know, and you got to kind of feel for the guy just because he's got a year left on his contract. And, you know, if you go from a 4-3 to a 3-4, and you take one of the most ferocious pass rushers in all of the NFL, and you say, oh yeah, you're a linebacker now, even though chances are Aaron Campman is going to rush the passer a distinguishable amount of time, you're still talking about a man's future. Mm-hmm. And Aaron Campman has been yeoman. He has done yeoman's work for the Packers, and he is every guy NFL. He's a great story.
Well, bottom line is trying to figure out why is he not saying anything. Is it the old standby, if you can't say anything good, don't say anything at all? Does he not have an opinion because he hasn't had a chance to really get used to it yet? Is he really, like I said, is he pissed off? I mean, we don't know, and his silence is making us speculate.
Trust me, I'm sure he has an opinion.
I'm sure he has an opinion, but maybe he's just waiting it out.
And the Packers are such hardliners. I mean, I don't know. I know there are plenty of people out there who have stuff to say about Ted Thompson, but maybe some of them are right. It's like, God, it just seems like they want to go over the top to be dicks to people. I don't know. Hard to say.
I don't know.
Anyway, moving on. Let's bring in our phone guest, our first official phone guest.
Our lunch date.
Our first official lunch date. Please welcome to the program the one and only Puddles. Puddles, welcome to the Fantasy Lunch.
Thank you, Pat, and hello, Caitlin.
Glad to have you.
You guys know what you're getting into, inviting me to lunch, or what?
That's why we thought we'd start it off with a bang, Puddles.
Puddles is known as the backbreaker at some buffets here in the Midwest.
Yeah, I can put them out of business if you'd like.
Puddles is the only guy that walks up and grabs the tray and says, no, the plate, no need for a plate. Just give me the tray. That'll be about the right size.
There you go.
But Puddles, you heard us talk a little bit about the Aaron Campman issue and being a diehard Green Bay Packer fan. What's your take on the dude?
Well, like you said, I don't know. Ted Thompson is a strange dude, and I don't know if you guys noticed it, but now Donald Driver's not going to attend the OTA, and he's upset with the way he's being treated.
I think Donald Driver's just going for the last bit of money he can before the end of his career.
You know, that's an interesting case because, I mean, you got a guy like Donald Driver who I think is very much like James Campman in that not highly touted coming out of college or Aaron Campman, I'm sorry, not highly touted coming out of college, a workman type effort, always there, showing up, blue collar kind of guy.
They're the company guys, they're the face of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it seems like, when did Donald Driver get such a bad deal? I mean, he comes with his hand out every single year. I mean,
and last year, he kind of fell to the wayside of Greg Jennings last year.
I know they're happy with Jennings, and I know they're happy with their receiving core, but you still, I mean, Donald Driver, I'll tell you what, if it's 3rd and 4, I want Donald Driver to have the ball. That guy is still, he's going over the middle, he's going to take his shots. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a push me, pull you. The bottom line is you still got to have your receivers, but the bottom line also being, hey, you've signed this contract. I mean, it's not like Donald Driver didn't have a breakout year last year. He had another good Donald Driver type year, which how much more does that get you other than the current salary that you already have?
Now, more importantly, Puddles, as a player of Rapid Draft, who would you take first, Driver or Jennings?
Jennings.
And Jennings is gone in the drafts that I've done. Jennings has gone way.
He goes high.
You're going to get more points for touchdowns than yards, and like Pat said, at this point in his career, Driver's more of a possession receiver, and the long ball is going to go to Jennings.
And the question is, will Aaron Rodgers have the type of year that he had before to get those guys the balls? I mean, I think a lot of people take for granted the year that Aaron Rodgers had. I'm just saying, sooner or later, Aaron Rodgers has got to say, oh no, I can produce these numbers every year, and you don't like to drag the name Favre into anything right now, but Brett Favre was the ultimate at, I don't care who I got as a receiver, I'm going to do a good job with it.
Well, the other thing it all comes down to is the fat guys, though. They got to have the fat guys to give him the time. Because if they don't, it ain't going to matter if he's on his back, he ain't throwing it to anybody.
And Puddles, me and you being both the size of a decent-sized NFL offensive tackle, we know that the guys wearing number 70 do the job.
You're telling me I couldn't run the offensive line?
No, you could not run the offense. You might be able to be the 30-yard line if you were lucky. Maybe the first down marker. But Puddles, you have been in Rapid Draft so far, and as a complete non-paid employee, total consumer, give us your quick take on it.
You know, like I said, when I first looked at it, I'm going, what's Pat talking to me about fantasy football now in the end of April, beginning of May? I've got 3 baseball teams I've got to worry about, and then I looked at it, and the more I looked at it, the website came up, and it just was real interesting. It doesn't hurt having a pretty girl telling you how to play. And
What, Pat's on the screen?
no, not Pat. But the more I looked at it, the more interesting it got. And I did one draft so far just to get the hang of it. And once you get used to it, it's really interesting. And it took me about, I think, a full episode of Family Feud and half of Let's Make a Deal, and I was done with the draft. So it was only 45 minutes, and it was, I think it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. I'm going to do a couple more, I think, before the season starts. I know that.
Question is, Puddles, what draft slot did you pick?
5.
You picked in the 5 hole?
I like the 5.
Who'd you get with the 5 pick?
I want to say, you give me a second, I can look. It's been a while.
D'Angelo
Williams, perhaps? Matt Forte?
I get Forte in the 5.
Michael Burner Turner?
Let's see, my first, let me see. I know I've got Peyton Manning on my team, Maurice Drew-Jones.
Jones-Drew.
Jones-Drew.
That's who you probably got in the 5 hole.
I think that's what I got in the 5, yeah.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Well, Puddles, we thank you very much for joining us on this initial phone guest of the Rapid Draft version of Fantasy Lunch.
And make sure you check out our talk section on Rapid Draft, because our guest blogger,
Puddles.
He was our first guest blogger.
Well, thank you.
Hey, it's good to have you aboard, Puddles. We need guys like you, and we're just starting this thing, so everybody who has anything to do with the Rapid Draft is going to know the name of Puddles soon.
Well, thank you so much. I'll be watching and listening.
All right, thanks, my friend.
Thank you, guys.